Hi everybody. In this session we are going to talk about migrated code patterns that only exist like that because of magic limitations. There were certain things that in magic you could only write using subtasks or other complexities, where in .NET you can write in just one or two lines of code. Now those subtasks in magic were migrated into inner classes in .NET, and we would like to show you how new code can be written better, or existing code can be changed to write better code for the future. The informal name of this video is things I would never do again once I'm in .NET. So let's start by setting the scenery. Here we have the maintain shipper screen, where I can select a shipper by typing its code. I can update the shipper by clicking the update button, and we can see in our table that the update is saved, and of course I can update it back. I can add a shipper by adding a new shipper ID and saying new shipper, insert it, and see that it's inserted or later deleted. And we can see that it is deleted. Great. Now let's review the code for this controller. So in our Northwind application, we have the maintain shippers controller, and that shipper controller has a container class of maintain shippers and several inner classes to insert shipper, update shipper, and delete the shipper. We can see the view, and we can see here that the insert button, if we look at its event, we can see that it click will raise the insert shipper event. If we follow that through to our code, we'll go to maintain shippers and look at our handlers. This is what happened when we insert a shipper. It basically calls the inner class of insert shipper. And we can also see that there is a bind enabled property here. And we can see that the insert button is only enabled according to expression 4. Now this takes me to the first very important refactoring, which we call, or everybody calls, rename. A lot of times in the code you will see methods with the name exp and a number, and this is because in Magic there was no way to give a name to an expression, so we had to use its number. In many cases we write the expression in place, but still in some places you'll see methods like this. Now we can click on it using the control button, and it will show us the code behind. Okay, and what we recommend that you do is rename it to reflect what it actually does. So in this case, it determines whether or not insert is enabled. Now by doing this rename, we can see that Visual Studio changed both files that are part of the discussion and covered everything for us. Renaming is done by pressing Ctrl R twice. Great, so we can apply it here and we're happy. Let's do the same for the update enabled. We can see update enabled is bound to this method. So you see how this one is called button insert bind enabled and this one is called exp5 bind enabled, because this one is used by both the update and delete buttons. So we can rename it to button update and delete to make it more readable, although most of the time I wouldn't do this kind of refactoring just because it's useless, but I would refactor the exp5 to be named update and insert are enabled. Perfect. So just by making these few changes, we were able to change our code to become more readable without changing any of its functionality. So this is what we call a low-risk change, and we strongly recommend doing it. Now don't go over all of your code and start renaming everything, but when you come to code and you read it and you understand the expression name, what it actually does, give it a name so people after you will find it easier to read. Now we can review the changes that have happened here. We can see the maintain shippers changes were changes to the expression names. And we can see that in the code behind of our view, again, we've made those changes. Great. Name, expression 4 and 5 to meaningful names. Great. So this is the first thing we wanted to touch. The next video, we're going to pick it up from here. Thank you.